Welcome back, everyone. So, in today's explainer, we're diving into what I think is literally one of the most fascinating transformations in modern materials science. Just imagine taking two perfectly flowing liquids, right? You mix them together, and just a few hours later, you're left with this absolutely unbreakable, structurally perfect solid. It honestly feels like magic, but as we'll see, it's pure, beautiful chemistry.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What actually happens when these liquids transform into an unbreakable solid? Well, we're talking about the incredible world of thermosetting polymers. Now, unlike your standard plastics that you can just melt down and reshape, epoxy goes through this one-way, totally irreversible chemical journey. Once it sets, boom, it's locked in forever.
At its core, it really comes down to this brilliant two-part analogy. You can think of it like a lock and a key. Part A is the resin, which contains these highly reactive epoxide groups. And part B is the hardener, or the curing agent. Now, sitting in their separate bottles, they're completely useless. But the exact moment you bring them together, they spark this massive chemical reaction that builds a complex, three-dimensional, highly cross-linked polymer network. It's a real game changer.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, the science behind the resin, followed by endless applications and types, epoxy versus alternative resins, best practices and safety, troubleshooting common mistakes, and finally, future innovations and next steps.
Section 1. Science behind the resin. The micro level.
To truly get how this works, we've got to zoom way in. When you mix part A and part B, you're triggering what chemists actually call step growth polymerization. Specifically, there's this nucleophilic ring opening. Basically, the active groups on the hardener force the tightly strained rings of the resin to open up and form brand new, incredibly strong covalent bonds. And because these bonds form a continuous 3D web, the cure is completely irreversible. Thermosetting, right? Oh, and this is absolutely crucial. The process is exothermic, meaning it generates its own heat as it cures. So yeah, it literally creates its own chemistry fire.
And because it generates that heat, working with epoxy is literally a race against the exothermic reaction. You start in the liquid state, that's your open time, where you can easily mix and pour. But as the heat builds, it enters what's called the gel or green stage, where it gets kind of tacky and rubbery. Finally, it reaches the solid final cure. Depending on your specific formula, getting to that maximum hardness can take anywhere from a few hours to several days.
Section 2. Endless applications and types. The macro scale.
All right, now let's zoom out from the molecular level and look at the massive impact this material has on our world. Because, epoxy isn't just for small craft projects. It is an absolute economic powerhouse. To put that into perspective, in 2025, the global epoxy market was valued at a massive $13.5 billion. But look at the projection for the 2030s. It's expected to practically double, reaching up to $26 billion. It's for sure an indispensable material of the future, driving major economic and industrial growth globally.
And this brilliantly illustrates where all that demand comes from, its incredible versatility. Epoxy is literally the backbone of heavy construction and seamless flooring. It's structural enough for aerospace and automotive composites, tough enough for the massive blades of renewable energy wind turbines, and yet it's clear and beautiful enough for high-end river tables, art, and DIY projects. The whole shebang.
Section 3. Epoxy versus alternative resins. Why choose it?
So, with all these applications, you might be wondering, why not just use cheaper plastics or other widely available resins? Well, let's pit epoxy directly against polyester resin. Now, polyester is definitely cheaper, but the catch is it shrinks significantly as it cures. That introduces internal stress and can totally warp your project. Epoxy, on the other hand, boasts very low shrinkage, giving you superior mechanical strength, incredible dimensional accuracy, and outstanding chemical resistance. You really do get what you pay for.
Now, what if we compare it to polyurethane? Polyurethane is fantastic if you need high flexibility, like for a joint that needs to move and bend. But when you need extreme hardness and a rigid, immovable structural bond, epoxy completely dominates. Plus, uncured epoxy is far less sensitive to moisture in your workspace than polyurethane is, making it just a bit more forgiving to work with.
Section 4. Best practices and safety. The expert mentor.
Okay, knowing the science is really only half the battle. We need to know how to handle this safely and effectively in our own workspaces, because many hardeners actually act as sensitizers, meaning repeated skin contact can cause severe allergic reactions over time. Utilizing proper PPE is absolutely non-negotiable.
Wearing chemical-resistant nitrile gloves and safety glasses is incredibly important. And if you're in a confined space, a respirator with organic vapor cartridges is a must. Always work in a well-ventilated area, keep it away from open flames, and please, dispose of your hazardous waste according to local regulations.
Now for the hands-on part. The secret to a perfect cure comes down to precision. Measuring your components by weight rather than volume is far more accurate because the densities actually differ between part A and part B. So grab a digital scale, that's going to be your best friend here. Condition both parts to the same room temperature. Then mix thoroughly, really scraping the sides and bottom. Finally, you want to use the double cup method. Basically, pour that mixture into a brand new second cup and mix it again. This ensures no unmixed resin clings to the edges to ruin your cure.
Section 5. Troubleshooting common mistakes. Fixing the flaws.
Let's move to this matrix and see how this builds, because even professionals have bad days. But the good news is, these flaws are fixable. A sticky surface that almost always points to an incorrect ratio or bad mixing. You'll just need to sand it back, carefully remeasure, and recoat. If you're seeing air bubbles, your mixing technique might just be a little too aggressive. Hit it with a heat gun, a torch, or use a staged pour to release them. And if your clear epoxy is yellowing over time, it's likely from UV exposure or pouring too thick, which, remember, generates too much of that exotherm heat. Stick to UV stabilizers and thinner layers.
All right, it's time to bust the absolute biggest myth in the epoxy world. So many people assume that adding a little extra hardener will make it cure faster and stronger. Actually, scratch that. It's a precise chemical equation. Excess hardener literally has nothing to bond with. It just leaves unreacted material floating around in your piece, which severely weakens the structural network and leaves you with a sticky, rubbery mess. Don't do it.
Section 6. Future innovations and next steps. What's next?
Looking at the horizon, the future of epoxy technology is incredibly exciting. Traditional epoxies are petroleum-derived, sure, but the industry is aggressively moving towards environmentally friendly bio-based resins using things like plant oils and lignin. We're also seeing the integration of nanotechnology, like graphene, for mind-blowing strength. There's even self-healing epoxies in development that use microcapsules to repair their own cracks, all formulated with the help of AI-assisted process optimization. Pretty wild, right?
So for you focused learners wanting to put this science into practice, your immediate next step is starting small. I highly recommend getting a quality beginner kit. Try some small jewelry casting in silicone molds, or practice coating a wooden coaster just to understand how self-leveling works. You could even try some simple pigment experiments in very thin layers. These are super forgiving projects that'll help build your muscle memory.
Once you've got those basics down, the possibilities are virtually endless, from structural composites to massive river tables. For more details and to purchase materials, visit our website, Fair's Solution. As we look at the integration of AI and self-healing bioresins, one has to wonder, in a decade, will we still be building our world with concrete and steel, or will we be pouring it?